colon is called the cecum. Right here, this first part is called the cecum. And there's a little pouch that hangs off of the cecum. Here's the little pouch on this model. That's the little pouch that hangs. Here's the cecum. Here's a little pouch called the variform appendix, or your appendix. This is the thing that can become inflamed or infected and sometimes has to be removed. This is the cecum, and that's your little appendix.
Where is it? Where is the sequence?
Where's the variform, whatever?
Variform appendix. Then you have what's known as the ascending colon. It goes up. Then it turns and goes across. So it goes up and then it turns here at what's called the hepatic or right colic flexure. Flexure means to turn. It's called the hepatic because that's where your liver is, or right because it's on the right side. Then it goes across to the transverse colon. Cross. And then it turns again at the left colic flexure or splenic because that's where the spleen is. And then it goes down, descending, down to about here. And then it makes like an S shape, which is known as the sigmoid. Right, so here it turns, that's the sigmoid flexure where it turns, right here. And then it makes like an S shape, that's the sigmoid. So here's the S, it comes down and up and down, it's kind of an S. And then into the rectum. The rectum is not on this model. No rectum. Where can we find the rectum? Right, we have the cecum, ascending, right colic or hepatic flexure. This model is missing. Can I have that little brown piece there? Thank you. I'll just pop it in here, make believe. Right, the transverse, the left colic or splenic flexure, descending. And then here is your sigmoid. And this thing here is the rectum. They have it down in the corner there, all right? The anal canal. I mean, this, it's just the last maybe inch before you come to the opening. The opening is called the anus. The last inch is the anal canal. They made it so that, see, the anal canal is very narrow. The anal sphincter is nice and tight, closed there. Here the anal sphincter is wide open. The person's very relaxed. Probably medicated, ready for a colonoscopy or something. So there in the picture, that last half inch or inch is the anal canal. There's two sphincters in there. Two sphincter muscles, right? Thus far we've only seen one sphincter muscle, but for a good reason, two sphincter muscles here. Internal anal sphincter and external. The internal, you don't control. The internal opens, relaxes when the digestive process is done. And that's when you kind of get that urge. Oh, excuse myself. The external sphincter you do control for most of your life. Not when you're very young and not when you're very old, but for most of your life you get to control external. And then, you know, when appropriate, right, you can then relax that one and you can get rid of the waste. So you have two sphincters there. One you control, one voluntary, one involuntary. Okay, they create the wall of the anal canal, the rectum, sigmoid, descending, transverse, ascending, cecum, variform appendage. Notice the shape of the colon. It has a distinctive state. It looks like a bunch of pouches that are tied together. See here, these little pouches. Each pouch is known as a haustra. 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 A haustra. That's where they got the name. Hofstra's just full of waste. Now it all makes sense. And each one of these is known as a haustra, and there's many of them, and they're like little compartments where the food moves from haustra to haustra, it stays there for a while. Some absorption takes place of water, and then via peristalsis it moves along. And then you have this connective tissue. This looks like a rubber band connective tissue. It kind of runs all along here, kind of holding everything together. Taenia coli, right here. Taenia coli. That's the name of this band. I guess it